Well, good Wednesday to you, Tennessee Valley, and of course, happy 4-2-3 day celebrating Chattanooga today in Scenic City. If you got plans out this morning, again, video recorded just after 7:30. So if you're watching a little bit later out this afternoon, this particular map going to be a little outdated, but we are tracking some fog this morning. Pretty thick, especially up towards Spring City and parts of Ray and Meigs County, even the northern tip of Bledsoe County. Seeing visibility less than a quarter of a mile through Decatur, Spring City, Dayton, less than a mile across the Cumberland Plateau, parts of Dade, Walker counties, down into DeKalb County, and over towards Blue Ridge and Ellijay in North Georgia. So a little bit of fog out there this morning. We're also tracking out some showers. Got a pretty good little downpour that's heading into Chattanooga and parts of southern Hamilton County, sliding across Marion and Dade counties. Had a little bit of rain in Dalton. So a little bit of shower activity, seeing some more downpours firing up near DeKalb and Jackson County. So that front to our south going to help spark more of these showers. Again, that's kind of what we've been talking about this week. That frontal boundary is actually a little further north than what this surface chart has indicated. But this is going to be the boundary that promotes more showers and storms. We also have some pretty active weather out along the dry line in parts of Texas and Oklahoma, and some storms to the north. So fairly active across parts of the southern plains for us. Things will start to heat up a little bit later on, but fortunately not expecting any severe weather today. Temperatures starting out in the 60s. Your highs across the valley today going to be in the 70s from Cleveland to Decatur. Plateau looking at low to mid 70s from Monteagle to Spencer. We'll have 77 in Murphy, 78 in Turtletown, and we'll have the mid 70s into Andrews. North Georgia, really no difference. There could be a few spots that hit 80 if we can get some sunshine. If there's no sunshine, we'll be in the 70s most of the day, especially during the afternoon and evening. 73 in Skyline, 74 in Stevenson, 71 in Henniger, so maybe a little bit cooler in northeast Alabama. Let's track it all out. This is our in-house Barron model. Performed pretty well yesterday. We'll have those downpours throughout the morning. And this afternoon, we get into the daytime heating, especially if the sun comes out. We're going to have these little downpours developing. Could be a few rumbles of thunder, but there's not going to be a lot of wind shear. In fact, it's going to be relatively calm wind-wise, even in the upper atmosphere. So we're not looking at a very high threat for severe weather. In fact, I don't anticipate any severe weather today. But with any thunderstorm, you can have lightning, very heavy rainfall, and maybe gusty winds up to 30 to 40 miles per hour. Through this evening, the rain continues, and I understand the lookouts are in town. It's going to be kind of a game time decision. We'll see what the radar looks around 6, 7 o'clock to kind of see how the game is going to progress and see if they're going to be able to get it in. But there's definitely going to be some storms around. Overnight, we lose the instability, therefore most of the rain tapers off. Still going to be some showers. Tomorrow morning, spotty showers. Fog once again for your commute, and that's probably going to be the trend the rest of the work week. Morning fog with a few showers, but during the afternoon and evening, that's where we get the daytime heating and we get more of those little pulse storms developing, and the winds are still going to be pretty light tomorrow as well, so really not looking at too much of a severe threat. But each day through, I would say Friday, Saturday, we're going to have these daytime storms, and this is our latest future rainfall. This goes through tomorrow evening. 1 to 2 inches, so actually picking up on a little more rainfall than what it was indicating earlier this morning. So we'll see how that trend holds, but this would be a good soaking rain. It's going to be highly variable though. Again, you get under a heavy storm, you can pick up a quick half of an inch to an inch there. You get your rain, in 30 minutes, and there may be some of you who don't get much rain at all over the next, 24 to 48 hours. So we'll keep a close eye on the radar. Severe outlook, really going to favor the plain states and parts of South Georgia, where you see that dark green shade, the yellow indicating a slight risk across the panhandle of Texas, back into the panhandle of Oklahoma. Thursday, again, the light green is general, non-severe thunderstorms. Severe threats still out towards parts of the southern plains, and even Friday, only a marginal risk for Texas and Oklahoma, just general thunderstorms for most of the country. So this is actually a pretty tame atmosphere for this time of the year. I mean, we're at the end of April. Things are usually pretty hot. One of the most devastating tornado outbreaks occurred April 27th, 2011. And it looks like that's not going to be the case towards the end of April. Just a couple of severe storms here and there across the country, mainly out west. So no elevated severe risk for us. We'll have the daily storm potential. I wouldn't rule out a stray severe storm with small hail and gusty winds at some point over the next couple of days, but it's going to be very isolated in nature. So just some summer showers, maybe an occasional thunderstorm through the weekend, and then your temperature trend. going up a little bit. I think we'll be in the 70s the next several days with the elevated rain chances, and then we'll be back in the 80s heading into next week. And the overall pattern trend over the next 6 to 10 days from the CPC favoring a pretty good chance of above normal temperatures, and towards the end of the month our average is in the upper 70s, which means heading into May we're likely to have plenty of 80-degree days on the horizon. So we'll see how that trend holds up, but it looks like that high pressure and ridging going to start to build back in, which may start to limit some rain chances heading into next week, but also allow for warmer temperatures. So we're going to squeeze out more rain over the next several days. Again, not going to be all day washouts, but we're going to have periods of showers and storms. That'll continue until about Saturday, and then towards the end of the weekend into next week we start to trend just a little bit drier. But hope everyone has a happy 423 day. Have a good day in general, and we'll see you again tomorrow.